Hello and welcome to the Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thaplayal, and today again we have got a very special show for you today, where we'll be talking to our viewers. In fact, we'll be sorting out their mutual fund portfolio queries, and just in case you have any questions related to your financial portfolio, your financial plan, you can send across your queries on our WhatsApp number, which is 8657974571, and we also have an email ID, which is the moneyshow@etnow.tv. So any question where you want any assistance, guidance as far as your investments are concerned in mutual funds, any insurance policy that you want to buy, or maybe get a review of your insurance portfolio, any loan repayment strategy, anything and everything about personal finance, we'll be answering this on the show today. And we also have a guest today, and let's welcome Pankaj Mathpal, who is the MD of Optima Money Managers. Pankaj, hi, good evening and welcome to the show. We also have our first viewer connected. We have Somesh with us from Pune. Somesh, hi, good evening.
Yeah, hi ma'am, good evening.
Hi, thank you so much for sending us your questions. Okay, so you started investing 5 years back, is it?
Sorry ma'am?
You began your investment journey 5 years back?
Correct.
Okay. So the funds are, I mean, we do have a list of funds. Is it the same or you want to add anything?
No, those are the same. Ma'am, before starting, I want to thank you and your channel who gave me this opportunity to share my portfolio, and which is helping so many viewers to create their own portfolio.
Thank you
a
so
great
much.
platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the appreciation. Thank you so much, Somesh. Okay,
No problem.
so I just want to know your investment horizon in this portfolio is for how long?
Ma'am, actually, I am planning to invest it for more than 15 to 20 years. Like, I am planning for my retirement. So actually, I wanted to achieve my FIRE number. So there is no any specific timeline, but it will be more than 18 to 20 years. So it's a very long-term portfolio.
So, post you retire, what is the amount that you're looking for?
Actually, ma'am, I am looking for my FIRE number, which comes around 2.75 CR. So I wanted to achieve in next 12 years. So I have already achieved 10 lakh in mutual funds, and in Provident Fund and in the NPS, I have more than 11 lakhs. So I have already achieved the corpus of 21 lakhs. So rest among others, like 55,000 per month, I am doing additional SIP. So 30,000 is in mutual funds and 17,000 is in NPS and Provident Fund.
Portfolio of direct stocks as well?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
Do you have a portfolio of direct stocks?
No, I'm not investing into direct stocks, only mutual funds.
Okay. So tell me something, how do you look at this FIRE concept? Because if it's an early retirement stage, what is your age now, and for how long would you need money from this portfolio? I mean, you've marked down a value which is 2.75 crores. Will that be enough for you to sustain for the rest of your life, or you will be having an earning source?
No, I'm just looking for FIRE number to get a financial freedom. It's not like that I'll be stop working, just to achieve that mental peace. For that, I have calculated my FIRE number.
Sure.
So if you ask me how I calculated it, so 50,000 is my current monthly expenses.
Okay.
So I have calculated it for next 15 years. So with the adjusted to inflation, it comes around 2.75 CR.
Perfect. All right. So your idea of financial freedom is to be flexible with everything that you want to do in your life, and maybe have enough money if at all you want to take any risk. Got it. So Pankaj, how would you like to help him?
Kavita, good evening, and thank you very much for having me on the show. See, Somesh, your idea is good that you want to achieve financial freedom, but the target what you have taken for yourself, that may not be sufficient. As you said, that considering your 50,000 rupees per month expenses and for rest of life adjusting with inflation, but if you see that what 21 lakh you have accumulated by now, plus SIP you are doing, because different asset classes will give different kind of returns. If I consider 12% returns from equity and say your employee provident fund, your provident fund that will give you around 8% return. So if I calculate it, it will take around 13 years to achieve this target. So after 13 years, if you see the value of 2.75 crore today, if I assume 6% inflation, it will be half of that. It means after 13 years, when you achieve this 2.75 crore, by the time the value of 2.75 crore is half of that. And if you are considering 50,000 rupees per month expense today, it will be double in next 12-13 years. It means the amount of 2.75 will not be sufficient. So your target should be much more than this. I suggest that if not in 13 years, as you said that you have sufficient time for retirement, you take 15 years, 18 years and invest more and more. But the target should be bigger than this, considering the impact on inflation. The inflation you considered, I think that you have not considered this thing that 50,000 today, if the expense is today 50,000, after 10, 12 years, it will be double than this or more than this, more than that. So that is why that is first advice. Second thing, as you mentioned, that you invest in equity through mutual funds, you invest in physical gold, and your contribution to your PF and NPS. Everything is good, but I'll recommend you that when you consider gold investment, it should be ETF or gold mutual fund, not physical gold. So consider replacing physical gold with gold ETF, or as I said, mutual fund. You can even do SIP in gold mutual fund schemes. That can be a better choice. Second thing is that gold allocation should not be more than 10 to 15%, though in last 1 year we have seen very good or very attractive returns on gold. But in long term, I expect that equity will deliver better returns than anything else. So that is why your allocation in gold should be 10, 15% or say 20%. But that should be the allocation. So more in equity, some allocation in gold, and rest you are already investing in NPS and PF contribution, so that it is good. Only the target should be increased. And if you say 10 years, as you wanted to say, in 10 years with this kind of return, you can accumulate only around 1.80 crore. So one thing that you should increase your investment and also means your horizon should be something like 15 years so that you can accumulate a better amount.
Somesh, anything else you want to ask Pankaj?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask one more question related to my portfolio, the fund selection. Any changes required, or I can just continue with the core portfolio?
Pankaj?
Yes. See, Somesh, your portfolio is very good. You have well diversified portfolio where you have large cap, mid cap, small cap, everything in the portfolio. I mean, value style fund and ICC potential value discovery fund is also there. So I'm finding that across the market segment as well as different style is there in the portfolio. You please continue. Only if you want to increase at this moment. So Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, Nippon India Large Cap Fund and ICC Potential Value Discovery Fund. In these funds at this time means you can increase your investment, and going forward even a small cap also you can consider. But right now these funds what I recommended will be a better choice for top up.
Right, Somesh, all the best. But now since, Pankaj, Somesh mentioned about arriving to the FIRE figure. This is a new concept which we are seeing among new investors, It's a Western concept, definitely, but then a lot needs to be considered when you are planning your retirement late or planning your entire life, with that financial freedom that you aspire a little late. So what's the right way to look at this FIRE concept and the FIRE figure, which Somesh repeatedly, mentioned twice or thrice when asking the question? How can one actually derive this FIRE figure and, plan a life full of financial freedom that Somesh we saw is aspiring?
See, Kavita, one thing I like that Somesh mentioned this, though he wants to achieve this number, but after that also he will be active and he will have active income after that, but he wants to be confident enough that he has enough money with him. So that is a good idea. But the number, because most of time, like Somesh also, what he calculated, I do not agree with him, because earlier you retire, more money you will require. Because if somebody feels that after 50 years of age or 45 years of age, he does not want to work and say considering the life expectancy of 80 years, 90 years. Um, so in next 40, 45 years, 50 years, if somebody wants to survive on that money, so the amount should be really big, because with inflation, your expense will keep increasing. So first thing in this calculation, when Somesh was considering 2.75, I understand that he said 50,000 today and he's thinking 50,000 after 11, 12 years and then inflation. But in next 10, 15 years also,
Right.
there will be inflation.
Okay.
And your requirement will be much higher than this.
Sure.
So whenever you do proper calculation, take these things in consideration, that your lifestyle expenses, your inflation, impact of inflation,
Right.
and then you do a proper calculation.
Sure.
And second thing, India, Kavita, I'll say, it is very difficult actually to achieve such number that you can
One
survive
needs
on
to be
that.
very practical about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But then let's move on to our other viewer. I have Rema on the phone line with me. Rema, hi, good evening. You're calling from?
I'm calling from Bangalore.
You're calling from Bangalore? Okay.
Yes,
Thank you so much for sending us your question. Tell me, you have invested in a couple of mutual funds?
yes.
Okay. And which
I
are?
have invested in few mutual funds.
Okay.
My query was regarding Axis Mutual Fund.
Axis Mutual Fund. Okay. So
Yes.
you have invested in what funds of Axis AMC? Blue chip and mid
Axis
cap. That's
AMC,
all.
Blue chip and mid cap. Yes.
Perfect. So they are not performing and you are concerned about the
They are
performance.
not performing.
Right.
Yes. I have invested some in Axis Liquid also.
Okay.
So what is my next step? Like
So
I should
since how long you've been
exit from,
invested in Axis Blue Chip and Mid Cap?
around 3 years.
3 years time frame. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. And you are a long-term investor otherwise.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let's see what can be done. And so, Pankaj, there was a phase where Axis Blue Chip was not performing, but not that the peers were really outperforming. We've seen the market. But having said that, it's important to have a large cap and a mid cap exposure in the portfolio now. Would you advise her to replace these schemes with the same AMC different market cap schemes, or completely a new investment in different AMC with different schemes?
See, Kavita, I'll not suggest to replace the category, because large cap and mid cap fund, the portfolio makes a good combination. So that is fine. But as you also mentioned this, that schemes are not performing, and I agree with you. So Axis Blue Chip Fund can be replaced actually with ICICI Prudential Blue Chip Fund, which has a long-term investment history and good performance history. So ICICI Prudential Blue Chip Fund can be a better choice. But mid cap fund at this moment, I say that you stay invested, because I'm seeing some changes in the portfolio or some performance in the improvement in the performance. So Rema, you stay invested in mid cap fund, continue your investment, and Axis Blue Chip Fund you can replace with ICICI Prudential Blue Chip Fund. You also mentioned about liquid fund. So liquid funds serve the different purpose. If you want to park your money for short term, for like contingency or something, you can stay invested in that fund. Otherwise, as markets are correcting now, if you have a long-term investment horizon, you can invest that money in equity or hybrid fund.
All right. Rima, is there anything else you want to ask Pankaj? You are definitely advised to replace this with large cap and ICICI Pru Blue Chip.
Axis, the liquid fund, can you advise into which other? Because again, that is also planning to move it into some long-term fund. So in this current scenario, can he suggest me? Can Mr. Pankaj suggest me any good funds?
So liquid fund investment is for contingency, right? You're just parking your funds over there, or you want to invest that in equity?
Invest in equity.
You want to invest an amount in equity, and the time horizon for that will also be more than 7 years.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years. So are you okay with a hybrid strategy? Conservative hybrid?
I'm okay with
or
the
you
hybrid
can go
strategy.
aggressive
Yes,
hybrid also?
Not aggressive. I would go with the
Conservative hybrid. Okay. Pankaj?
Yes.
Sure.
See, if the horizon is 3 to 5 years, instead of conservative hybrid, I'll give you two choices. One is that balance advantage fund. So the balance advantage fund category, where the investment is in equity and debt, but the allocation keeps changing depending on the market situation. So that can be one choice. So you can choose to invest in HDFC Balance Advantage Fund, or if you want to take lesser risk compared to that also, so one category is Balanced Hybrid Fund. In Balanced Hybrid Fund, the equity allocation is between 40 to 60%. So they are uh, White Oak Balanced Hybrid Fund. So Balanced Hybrid Fund is different category and Balanced Advantage Fund is different category. So in Balanced Hybrid Fund, where the equity allocation is between 40% to 60%, here White Oak Balanced Hybrid Fund is a good choice. So out of these two, if you can take little higher risk, then HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund, little lower than that, then as I mentioned, White Oak Balanced Hybrid Fund. You consider for 3 to 5 years these funds. In conservative hybrid fund, because equity is only 10% to 25%, so for 3 to 5 years, I don't think those will be suitable funds for you. That category may not be very suitable. So these two categories I have suggested, and schemes also I mentioned. Consider one out of these two.
Right, Rema, all the best with your investments, and two categories of funds recommended for your investment of the time frame of 5 years. Let's take a quick break, and post that we have our viewers connected. We'll be taking Vignesh and Jishnu's question, but just in case you want to send across your questions, you can WhatsApp us your queries and also email us your questions on our email ID. Back, you're watching the Money Show and we are answering your portfolio queries. I have with me Pankaj Mathpal, who is an expert on the show today. And let's take our next viewer on the phone line. Chennai, we have Vignesh from Chennai. Vignesh, hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you so much for sending us your question. You have 4 mutual funds. You are investing 5,000 each in it. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm investing 5,000 each in 4 different category funds.
Sure.
Just check whether my investment is, so I can continue investing for the next 10 years or 15 years and so on.
Okay.
So just check whether my investment is right.
One index, a large cap, you have one small cap, one mid cap, and one multi cap. Anyone recommended these funds to you?
No, I myself have chosen it.
You selected. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's guide you for the time frame of 10 to 15 years. Pankaj, funds standalone, if you look at them, they are good.
Exactly. The fund mix is good, and in their respective category, the funds are the one of the best performing funds in their category. So definitely means you can stay invested. Only one thing was missing, that time horizon, and you told now that you want to stay invested for 10 to 15 years. So with this investment horizon, I feel that this is a good portfolio. Stay invested and you can increase your allocation in the existing funds only. And Kavita,
Sure,
one more thing.
sure.
If suppose I want to calculate it for the benefit of Vignesh, assuming 12% CAGR, you can expect around 45 lakhs in 10 years. And if you step up by 10%, then you can expect around 65 lakh. So my suggestion to you, and I always suggest this to all the investors, then with time you must step up your investment. So Vignesh, by 10%, if you step up your investment,
Right.
you will be able to
So, Vignesh, are you planning to
number.
step up your investment? Because with your current investment, 45 lakhs in 10 years at 12% CAGR, and you annual step up of 10%, if you do, it will be 65 lakhs. Any corpus expectation?
See, I may not be able to step up each and every year,
Sure.
but I'm planning to increase the 5,000 to 10,000 in each funds.
Okay, perfect. I think that will be good enough to start off with. As and when you can invest, it's advisable to you step up your SIPs. Anything else you want to ask Pankaj? Vignesh, any more question?
No, thank you.
All right, all the best. Pankaj, let's move on and let's take one more question. I think this is via email from Jishnu. Jishnu is writing this question from Delhi. And he's doing 50,000 SIP, 10,000 each. He's got 5 funds and 15 years time horizon. He is stepping up his SIP by 5 to 10%. Okay, so the funds that he has in the portfolio are ICICI Value Discovery, HDFC Flexi Cap, SBI Flexi Cap, Nippon India Growth Fund, Kotak Small Cap, and he already has a debt investment in money market and RD, which are around 20,000 monthly. Total over there is 70,000 he's investing. Okay, so yeah, what's going to be your take on his fund mix?
Yeah, see, because he has mentioned that how much he has accumulated or invested in these funds. So if you see the allocation, means asset allocation is also good. Equity and debt both are there in the portfolio. Within equity, if we see then one value discovery, which is diversified equity fund plus two flexi cap fund, one mid cap, one small cap. With 15 years investment horizon, what he had mentioned, I feel that this is a good choice of schemes and well diversified portfolio. So in 15 years, if we assume 12% CAGR from mutual fund, he can expect around 4.59 crores with his current allocation, current portfolio value, and plus SIP of 50,000 rupees. He has 8.20 lakh as a lump sum plus 50,000 rupee SIP. So 4.59 crore can be expected in 15 years with 10% step up. What he has already mentioned that he can increase his investment by 5 to 10%. So with 10% I calculated it is coming around miss 4.59 crores.
All right. Let's take Manisha's question. This is again via email, and she says that she's planning to begin his investment journey, and she has 12 lakhs saved. She's apprehensive about investing the entire amount at the current market juncture. So, how can she distribute or stagger this investment? She can hold this investment for 10 years, and she also wants to know the exact corpus that she'll be able to accumulate.
See, Kavita, if the horizon is 10 years, one should not worry much about the market because in 10 years, because we have seen in past also that markets correct and then they perform again. So if you have investment horizon of 10 years, you must invest. But yes, if you have 12 lakh rupees, first thing, keep around 1 lakh in contingency fund. For example, something can be kept in liquid fund along with the fixed deposit. So 1 lakh can be kept for short term needs. But 11 lakh rupees balance out of this 12 lakh rupees, I suggest you invest for long term. Yes, not in one go. You can invest in staggered manner through STP route, where we invest the money in liquid fund first, and then we decide that the frequency and the amount which can be switched from the liquid fund to the target equity scheme. So that you can do. And considering the current market situation, some schemes I'll recommend to you like ICICI Prudential Value Discovery Fund, Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, Nippon India Multi Cap Fund, Motilal Oswal Large and Mid Cap Fund, and White Oak Multi Asset Allocation Fund. So for 12 lakh rupees, I have recommended you these 5 funds. You can allocate equally in these schemes. And as I mentioned, not in one go, in staggered manner in next 5 to 6 months, you can deploy the total 11 lakh rupees out of the 12 lakh in these schemes. And 1 lakh, as I said, half of that you can keep in fixed deposit, half of that can go in liquid fund.
All right, Pankaj, we do have more questions, but then the time is up on the show today. Thank you so much for taking time out and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And for all the viewers, before I sign off, I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.